right? Okay, let's hop over to this. Now, if you guys haven't seen, man, first of all, let me look her up. So there's this woman that popped up. Her name is Bobbi Althoff. Okay, now apparently she was a mommy TikToker. So apparently she has 2 kids. She used to make these little TikTok videos, and the videos she used to make was a little bit awkward, but it was like, in this awkward era of personality where everybody's getting on social media, and some of these people really just are socially awkward. Now, granted, as you kind of put it into regular content, whether a podcast or like an interview, we know like this awkward space, at least within our culture. This is, and I ain't gonna lie, this was the intrigue with her for me. I said, this is Funny Marco. Funny Marco has dominated this lane. There's another person but I don't think he's kind of all the way like this. I would say Theo Vaughn, but Theo Vaughn's just way more funny and he's just a whole different beast in itself. But Funny Marco is a person with dry humor, little awkwardness, and I think he does it brilliantly. And I got to salute to him. I've interviewed him, and he's a brilliant comedian. She pops on the scene, right? So this Bobbi Althoff woman, she pops on the scene. After she said I watched the whole interview of her. She said she had 300,000 followers based on the TikTok stuff. So she used to post kids, but she used to be a little bit weird, whatever. She kicks it out the gate, which, by the way, let's look at her history. Ironically, she did do an interview with Funny Marco, her second interview, period. So she did do one with Funny Marco. But what ended up happening was that her third interview actually was with Drake. Now, you're not going to see the Drake interview on this page because I'm actually on her page live because she deleted it. But you guys have probably seen little clips. Drake, Bobbi Althoff interview. Let's see if we can find like a clip. Okay. Oh, this is
so
H3,
Bobbi.
This is H3 kind of like, reacting a bit. Oh, they never play it. Okay. Well, here we go. Yeah, okay.
I think I knew about that.
You start.
So essentially, she did an interview with Drake in bed. Obviously, that's kind of the source of Elliott Wilson saying something to Drake. A lot of things happen. And shit, I was a little bit confused because I didn't know who this white woman was. Anyway, later what happened is she did an interview with Drake that's now deleted. I think it was before the Omari White interview. She did an interview with him. Then she did an interview with Lil Yachty. Now, I got to be honest with you, and I guess you don't know. I've kind of realized a bit. Lil Yachty and Drake are like best friends. I don't know how to put it. And by the way, this is my assumption. It's not like they've told me this. But Drake and Lil Yachty seems to be best buds. After she did an interview with Lil Yachty, which by the way did good. The Drake interview was at 11 million. This Lil Yachty's at 5 million. She did one with Mark Cuban 12 days ago, which has 2 million. And Tyga did one with her 5 days ago, which actually has 4.2 million. So instantly in the space of 8 podcasts, she's like the hottest new podcaster out. For you to get millions of views, especially have 8 podcasts with 11 million views, I want to put this in perspective. Joe Rogan's average podcast, right? His average podcast numbers, which means he might have some a little bit lower, some a little bit higher, is 11 million. That's the number I've been touted and heard. So Joe Rogan does 11 million views every podcast, right? Not every podcast, some is higher, some higher. But here's the thing. It's Joe Rogan. How long has he been in the game? How much things has he done? This woman comes out and in 3 podcasts, she goes 500,000, 3.5 million, right? And then the Drake interview was at 11 or 12 million. That's ridiculous, crazy out the gate shit, right? And I think people have been wondering, is she a plant? Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This is just my honest opinion. Bobbi Althoff is 100% a plant. And when I mean a plant is that I'm not doubting her talent. I'm not doubting her style. I'm not doubting anything to do with the work she might have done to get these interviews or do them or get them out or be entertaining in them. I am doubting the way that things aligned for her to be this viral. And this is the point where I always tell people. And the only reason I'm saying this, I hope y'all understand this is not hate, right? Academics is a really successful person. I'm great in my own career. I don't envy no one. I hope no one envies me. I'm great. The reason why I say this is because I remember before I was me and I was on the come up and I was trying to make it. And I would see people allegedly or supposedly make it in 2 months or a month. And it seemed like they didn't put half as much work as I did. And it seemed that they weren't as dedicated as much as I was. And I felt I was robbed. I was like, damn, I'm doing 10 times more than them, but I'm getting 10 times less the outcome. Here's the truth, and this is what I have to tell for you aspiring people. It's not only in podcasts, it's music. People like Bobbi Althoff are chosen. They're chosen by the people that me and you don't see. Let me tell you this, I don't believe for a second that Drake, who gets 1 million DMs from every fan on planet Earth, everybody who goes to a show, he's tagged by 1 million people. His gram is literally probably exploding. According to her, if you listen to her story, she DMs Drake and Drake just agrees to do the podcast. That's cap. I'm telling you this. Now, I'm not going to say Drake doesn't eventually agree. Like Drake does probably agree. But I have to tell you the other parts. How does she get there? How does she get access to Drake? Who could be a middle person that Drake could even know that maybe she knows that Drake would respond? Because Drake is not responding to every woman. This is where everything else comes into play. So she signed to WME. By the way, I'm giving you details because I like to be very truthful. I got my podcasting deal through being signed to UTA. I'm signed to UTA, which is a United Talent Agency. Call Her Daddy, they're signed to the same agency. And pretty much every other big podcaster is signed to my agency. I'm being honest with you. UTA has a tight grip on everybody or anyone who's gotten a deal in the last 2 or 3 years in podcasting. From me to Call Her Daddy to everyone. Now, here's the thing. We're on the edge of where podcast deals aren't being given out anymore. What does that mean? UTA owned the monopoly on it, and podcasting is changing a bit, but they still own the monopoly on it. Now, ironically, an agency that's never had any fucking foothold in podcasting comes out with an individual that has the biggest guests. By the way, all signed to WME. So she's with WME, William Morris Endeavors. She goes out 8 podcasts later. She's like one of the biggest podcasters now. Guess the irony. Everybody, including her big guests, including the biggest guest, Drake, guess who they're signed to? WME. So I'm going to just be very honest. Drake probably, of course, took a liking to her, probably talked to her a bit. But this is where favors get set up. I'm pretty sure somebody at WME started help pulling the strings to set all this in motion. She's not just a random girl. And this is where I know some people who are content creators get frustrated because they're like, why not me? Why her? Because she explained on Barstool Sports. She said, I just shot my shot. I just DM'd him. You DM Drake right now, you're not getting a fucking answer. I don't care what you do. You could be like, oh, I knit. I played soccer. You're not going to answer. In reality, what's not mentioned here, and this is why I think it's a little dishonest, and this is why I do call her a plant. Because your connections in the podcasting world and in the agency world is the reason why you have these people initially off rip. Now, granted, after 8 podcasts, she's so lit. Like, for example, I seen that Offset did something with her. I'm pretty sure Offset wanted to. Niggas seen Drake did 11 million. Like, play this. When I do an interview with Dirk, You have every rapper and their mama like, oh my God, yo, act, let's do an interview right now. You know why? They know Dirk and me just went stupid. When I do an interview with 6ix9ine, oh, we just went stupid. They're like, yo, let's get it done. You know, again, that's all it is. So if you ask me if she's an industry plant, of course she is. And what's the industry plan for me? I'm not knocking her talent. All I'm saying is that her connections, due to her agency, management. By the way, I heard her management is very cool with some people that were cool with either Yachty or Drake. I don't know. But I'm telling you, this is not just random. Now, let's get to the most obvious and what people are talking about now. Everyone's saying, okay, well, Drake doesn't follow her anymore. And if you guys don't know, you can look on my Instagram. Where is it? It says it here. Salute to Dexerto. It says, Bobbi Althoff has removed the Drake podcast from YouTube. They're no longer following each other on Instagram. Okay? The podcast has also been removed from other platforms such as Spotify. Okay? It shows that Drake no longer follows her. Shows that she no longer follows Drake. Okay? It's no longer on her page. If you're asking me what I believe happened, I'm going to assume, and this is just my assumption, I could be wrong, Drake is one of the smartest and most savviest business people in the game. I think this was business, nothing personal. I know some of y'all are going to be simple-minded, like, oh, Drake ain't fuck. No. Drake, through his many endeavors, by the way, remember, Drake also invested in 100 Thieves, which is a gaming company. I think Drake's seen her. Drake, who's probably trying to appeal to that community and probably one of the reasons why he did the interview anyway, be like, okay, I could have this quirky interview with this woman and show a different side of myself. Shit will still be going up. I think that maybe on a business level, this woman and however her podcast, is doing, probably didn't align business-wise with Drake. And I think Drake just knows at this point the power of his cosign. I think that's the same thing that happened with Ice Spice. Like we joke around with it. Like, yeah, maybe, he was trying to fuck Ice Spice. I think he was? I think he was trying to court her to join OVO. She came there. She was soaking up clout. Probably playing around, not trying to sign. You know what Drake Price said? Fuck that. Like, my cosign's worth too much. I think that's what this is. My cosign's worth too much. Shit. Your manager hit up my manager. We're in the same agency. I thought this was going to work. But, hey, listen, my podcast, me doing a podcast, we just did 11 million views. Hey, let's do some word? Okay. All right, bet. Remove my shit. We ain't do no releases, none of that. Get my shit on out of here. I'll take my cosign back. I won't talk about you. Whatever. Let's see how your podcast does without the biggest name in the fucking game. Now, there are some people who be like, no, it's a little bit more complicated. As I said, Yachty and Drake are like best friends. And if you go to, actually, I was watching it earlier. So, Barstool Sports. If you go to Barstool Sports, actually, they have, it's actually Dave Portnoy's podcast. It's called BFFs. It says
What's up,
him,
boys
Josh, and Bree Chicken Fry. I don't know who Bree Chicken Fry is. But if Bree Chicken Fry is this white woman right here, that sounds racist. If her name is Chicken Fry, she look like this, racist. But, I'm playing. I love you, Dave Portnoy. So, don't see it and get mad at me. All right, anyway, this is the Bobbi interview. Now, if you go here, and I think, is it here? She starts talking about Yachty.
But yeah, mostly with like funny Marco.
Did Lil Yachty come out yet?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay.
That one we talked for too long. That was like 2 hours. Because we're like the same age and stuff. And it ended up being just like easy to talk to him about like everything.
He was our worst interview we've ever had on BFF.
Yeah.
Really?
He was like,
it's a cult
eating
classic.
pizza. Yeah.
Some people love it.
It's
like a top 3 though.
He just
Probably
like
worst
opened
interview.
it on his phone, like FaceTime. He's like, what am I doing? He's
yeah,
like eating
he
a
didn't know what was
pizza.
going on. He was paying no attention. We almost we were very close to signing him after the fact to do a podcast with us. Fell through at the very end, but
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he has one that just.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, that was almost with us, but
Wow.
should have happened.
That's crazy. I didn't know that you guys did one with him.
Yeah.
I thought it was like my longest one. He did FaceTime Drake during it.
Well, I think he knew what he was getting into with you.
Yeah.
I think he had no idea with us, and he
didn't.
was-
He started opening.
Hey, let me tell you this. So just from like words and like little through the grapevine shit, from what people tell me, like yo, Drake and motherfucking Yachty are like so close. I don't know. I'm guessing still, but like they're so fucking close, and like musically, like they're fucking in sync. And to me, it's utterly ridiculous in a sense because I'm like no disrespect to Yachty, but there's nothing that Yachty could come up with in his brain that could help Drake, who's my favorite, and I would like. And I ain't gonna lie, people have told me that that's not true, but I'm just keep it going. But there's some synergy with them, and I guess they're like really good friends too, so that's good.
Up
Quite
Amazon
disinterested.
packages. It was pretty crazy.
So
No, well, the good thing about mine though is like, so when I walked into his house to do that, I'm, like I said, I'm really awkward. I walked into his house and I felt so awkward. Like I didn't know what to
I'm
do.
not buying the awkward stuff.
You
because
didn't
you're
see me
not
like
really
walking up
awkward.
here. You saw me walk into here when I knew
But
we were
this
gonna
is
like.
an awkward environment.
I
You
know.
weren't
I don't know. I
awkward at
do
all.
well under. I don't know. Maybe.
It's not hating. See, this is where you make me say more I want to say. People have just told me that Yachty has helped work on shit that like would blow our minds. Like yo, Yachty's been inspiration for shit that we just wouldn't like. We'd be like, what, Yachty? And yeah, shit. Maybe I'm just sleeping on Yachty, but like I guess I'm always blinded by like, oh, it's Drake. You know what I mean? But shit, a lot of people have said, yo, Yachty's worked on some shit that's crazy. Anyway.
Well, I think he knew what he was getting into with you.
Yeah.
I think he had no idea with us, and he
didn't.
was
He started opening up
quite
Amazon
disinterested.
packages. It was pretty crazy.
So
No, well, the good thing about mine though is like, so when I walked into his house to do that, I'm, like I said, I'm really awkward. I walked into his house and I felt so awkward. Like I didn't know what to
I'm
do.
not buying the awkward stuff.
You
because
didn't
you're
see me
not
like
really
walking up
awkward.
here. You saw me walk into here when I knew
But
we were
this
gonna
is
like.
an awkward environment.
I know.
You weren't
I don't know. I
awkward at
do
all.
well under. I don't know. Maybe I need like a therapist to diagnoose why I am like
Under the
fine
bright
right now.
lights
But like
come on and you're good to go.
bright lights, and I'm like lights, camera,
Superstar.
action. No. So Yachty, when I walked into his house, I was so uncomfortable. Like it was so awkward.
make you call him Boat?
He was so. No, I just call him Yachty. I can't call him Boat with like a straight face. It's
That's
like,
how he was leaving me a message. Yo, it's Boat. I was like,
Really?
Oh, I can't.
that's his,
I
he
can't-
switched to boat. He's
he
just
calls-
boat.
Yeah, his friends call him that. I refused.
Yeah, I think Yachty goes by Boat. That makes sense. Drake goes by the boy. Anybody who's been close around Drake, they definitely don't call him Drake. They're like the boy. The boy. I promise you, they're like, yeah, the boy. Yeah, the little Boat don't hit as hard. You gotta go by Boat. Boat hits. The next time I talk to him, I'm gonna try to call him Boat. Cause I usually call him Lil Yachty. He probably is like offended by that now. Like, yo, like, whoa, I'm not no little nigga. What the fuck? Should I call Yachty Lil Yachty or call him Boat? Boat is fire. Nah, Boat is fire. Boat? He did right act up for the city girls. I ain't gonna lie to you. So I met this person, and I'm gonna keep this short because it felt like it was Illuminati shit. There was like, we've heard and we have so many reference tracks of y'all favorite songs that you'd be shocked to hear who really did it. I'm like, what? And then the person said, have you ever heard, which I don't know if it exists, maybe they were just capping to me. They say, yo, have you ever heard the Act Up reference track? And I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, I can't imagine Yachty literally recording a song and be like, realize picture. I just can't imagine it. But they told me a bunch of songs. They might be capping, but it was just like, it sounded great. Anyway.
to say.
No, he's
I'm like,
Yachty.
Does
I'm
anyone ever just call
Yachty.
him Lil?
Oh.
I wouldn't.
Lil?
I don't even
Bo?
like. No,
He'd
no,
call me
it's
up.
not.
He'd be like, yo, it's Bo. It's like,
What
what's
about
up?
Lil?
No, it's
Yo, what's
Bo.
up?
It's
It's
Bo.
Lil.
He
Just
does
Bo.
go by.
Yo, Future writing Beyonce "Drunk in Love" was crazy. We do have to be honest with you. Future writing Beyonce "Drunk in Love" was a crazy thing. I think Yachty worked on the ad libs. He worked on the ad libs on he did some ad libs on Drake shit on Her Loss. I'm in denial. Drake's the greatest, so I don't know what y'all niggas talking about. He's the greatest. Drake wrote Beyonce "Heated" too. I don't think does she fuck with that song that much? Like "Drunk in Love" is a song. P&D writing "Work" by Rihanna, that was a joint. Yeah, Drake did write for Alicia. "Drunk in Love" is not Towers. You from Chicago, so Love Sosa is probably like the national anthem. "Drunk in Love" is probably garbage. MD2, you would never get me to believe that Lil Yachty has written even a line for Drake. PND wrote "Legend" for Drake. Cameron wrote a 3LW song back in the day. He probably did. Why do y'all keep saying Yachty helped Drake with Jumbotron shit? Why do you say that? Can I play that song, or are they gonna kick me off YouTube? Let me look up the lyrics. Jumbotron shit lyrics. Do y'all know like his writing pattern? We ain't even out in Turk. She finna take sand. Round with F and N, like we hold hands. Boat was too sipped out, he ain't leave the bed. Then he dipped out a pint of the tech in a cold red. If I tell this bitch to pull up, she gon' moped it. My dog, he don't smoke on shit unless it's unleaded. I don't go back and forth over no net. So go on, did it. See me when you see me. If it's smoke, dog, you on lead shit. Nah, that's not like Drake. Somebody said because the song he on with Rilo is the same song. Taylor Port Junkie? What? Taylor Port Junkie. Somebody said look in the credits. Yachty's in it. I know Yachty's in it. I know, but like, ain't there like some ad libs and some shit? Wait, I can't play the whole thing. So where's Yachty's part? Yachty's on this?
She a Taylor Port Junkie. So we cut down, pick a pair.
What the fuck did y'all just have me play? Playboy, I ain't gonna lie, you're so right. This is ain't the 1950s. We really don't care who wrote it. Could we be honest about that? Could we be very honest about that, chat? Meek Mill went to war for a battle that don't count in the future. Back when he said it, it counted so much. Hip hop was in the space of just not understanding how music was made. And when he said, yo, Drake doesn't write, yo, it was the biggest thing. I ain't gonna lie. I feel like I wanted to cry. These days, I don't even give a fuck who wrote it, bro. I don't care. I think like like Meek fought a war that literally won't be remembered in history. Somebody said, but I still think he's the greatest. Of course Drake's the greatest. Stop playing. Anyway, let's get back to Bobby.
I boat, yeah.
Slow.
But I walked into his house and it was
kinda
super awkward.
So she's saying why Yachty's awkward. Some people believe this is why Drake don't fuck with her, because Drake loves Yachty. I think Drake got a sense of humor, so I don't think so. I don't think this is what it is.
Like, he's really kind of awkward. And I've heard that going into it. But me with another awkward person is like, I think it's because you guys are awkward. Maybe that's why. But if you guys are awkward, you guys aren't. Because he was awkward. I walked into his house. He didn't even like say hi to me. So then I was like, said, let's go to the bathroom. So then we go to the bathroom and then we like get out. And then he's like, he's just sitting there with like his two assistants and he's not even acknowledging that I'm like in the room. And my camera guy's like setting up. I'm just sitting there like,
skin
on
crawling.
my phone, like I'm like trying, and then he comes up, he's like, oh hi, gives me like a half hug, and I'm just like hi, then goes back to his spot, and I'm like, dude, I don't even want to do this. I'm texting my friend like, Ashley, I need to leave, this is so awkward, I don't want it, like what am I doing here? And then she's like, lean into this during the interview, like call it out. So then during our interview I was able to be like, why did you do that? Like why did you make me feel like that? Yeah, so it was actually really, it worked out.
Another thing in our notes, I'm beyond the conspiracy theories, which by the way, I was a firm believer that you somehow.
Yeah, so I'm just not gonna say that. I don't think that's what it is. I think it's business wise. By the way, I'm pretty sure Drake is gonna clear this up a little bit. If you ask me, I think Drake doesn't like when people have these random floating theories about him and women. Because, you know, he's a man. So they oftentimes try to make him look like he's either fucking thirsty or a creep. And shit, you know what I mean? Like, he's just a motherfucker with a lot of power. Might not be either or, but like, he's probably trying to make his business moves go on. So I think Drake might address this. Hopefully he does. All right. Let me kind of move on a little bit. I do want to say, damn, we still got mad topics to get to. So, Krishan Rock. I hate I got to talk about this. Krishan Rock. Okay, I think this is it? Yeah, I guess. So Krishan Rock,